Begin in child's pose on your yoga mat. Reach the arms out in front, spread the fingers, and reach the hips back towards the feet. On your next inhale, come forward onto all fours, knees directly under the hips, and wrists, elbows, and shoulders in one long line. Spread the fingers and curl the toes. As you inhale, lift the head and the tailbone. As you exhale, push the mat away. Let your head go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push the mat away around the back. Inhale, lift, getting really long across the whole front body. Exhale, push the mat away, round the upper back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push. And on your next inhale, come to a flat back. When you're ready, roll over the toes into downward facing dog. So picture the body as an upside down letter V. No tension in the neck. You want to push the mat away so the armpits are long. As you inhale, lift the right leg, spread the toes. Then bend the knee and open up the hip. You'll notice the right shoulder tends to lift, so bring it into alignment, in line with the left shoulder. As you inhale, come forward, shoulders over wrists, and tap the right tricep with the right knee. And then lift back, three-legged dog. Toes are spread, body is long. Inhale, step the right foot to the front of the mat, lower left knee down to the ground. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, send the hips forward. Little mini back bend here. And relax the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, fingertips down to the ground, extend the right leg. Breathe into the low back, breathe into the right hamstring. And as you inhale, crawl forward, left knee off the mat, and step back for plank pose, lowering all the way down to the ground. As you inhale, elbows come underneath the shoulders, lift, Sphinx pose. Spine is long. Exhale, lower and release the pose. Inhale, hands underneath the shoulders. Press into the mat, maybe you can straighten your arms. Spine is really long, collarbones broad. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Inhale, use your strength to lift the body into upward facing dog. So only the hands and the tops of the feet are on the mat. The knees are off the mat, the legs are off the mat. And when you're ready, roll over the toes for downward facing dog. Take a couple deep breaths. And when you're ready, take it to the other side. So lift the left leg as high as you can. Spread the left toes. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Breathe into the hip flexor. Bring the left shoulder in line with the right shoulder. When you're ready, come forward, shoulders over wrists. Tap the left tricep with the knee and lift up, three-legged dog. Keep the toes spread, body long. When you're ready, step the foot to the front of the mat, lowering the right knee down to the ground. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, send the hips forward and look up if that's okay for your neck. Fingers are spread, shoulders away from the ears. Little back bend here. On the next inhale, bring the fingertips to the ground. Extend the left leg, spread left toes. Bring the head down towards the knee, making sure your chest stays open. As you inhale, come forward. Right knee off the mat, step back, plank pose. Lower with control all the way down. As you inhale, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, lift up for Sphinx pose, so collarbones are broad, spine is long. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands underneath the shoulders. Press into the mat, maybe you straighten the arms for cobra. Slowly release. On the next inhale, bend the right knee, spread the right toes, press and lift. Cobra variation. Exhale, release. Come to the other side. Left knee bends, left toes are flexed, and spread as you push into the mat and lift up. Exhale, release. From here, we'll come into upward facing dog. So all of the weight in the hands and the tops of the feet, and then roll over the toes for a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg. Spread the right toes and use your core strength to send the right foot to the front of the mat. Left toes point out at 45 degrees. And as you inhale, lift up, warrior one. So push especially into the outer edge of the back leg. Hips are facing forward. And when you're ready, interlace the fingers behind your back. Lean back, spine is long. Exhale, come forward. No tension in the neck, let the head hang, and bring the arms up overhead. Check in and make sure the shoulders are away from the ears, right knee is directly over the right ankle or slightly behind, and you're pushing into the outer edge of the right foot. As you inhale, lift all the way up, come into high lunge, so left heel off the mat. As you exhale, bend the back leg and the elbows, and lift. Send the hands down, plank pose. With control, slowly lower all the way down. Elbows under shoulders for Sphinx pose. Slowly lower, hands underneath shoulders. Cobra pose. Spine is long. Exhale, lower. When you're ready, upward facing dog. So just the feet and the hands on the mat. Inhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. On the next inhale, lift the left leg. Spread the left toes. And then use the core strength to step the foot to the front of the mat. Right toes come out 45 degrees, pushing especially into the outer edge of the right foot as you rise up for warrior one. So hips are facing forward, left knee directly above or slightly behind left foot. As you inhale, interlace the fingers behind your back. Roll the shoulders away from your body. Look up if that's okay for the neck. And on your next inhale, come forward with the torso, let the head hang, no tension in the neck, and lift the arms. Press the palms together, lift the shoulders away from the ears. As you inhale, rise up, arms up overhead, right heel off the mat. As you exhale, bend the back knee and the elbows and lift. Inhale, plank pose. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Elbows underneath the shoulders for Sphinx. Exhale, release. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, Up Dog. Inhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. On the next inhale, rise onto the toes, bend the knees. Use your core strength to hop forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Fingers in line with the toes, bend the knees if you have to. Feet together, knees together. Inhale, arms out to the side. Rise up with a flat back. Tadasana, mountain pose. On the next inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Press the hips forward, shoulders away from your ears. Use your core strength to lean back, spine is long. Let your head go if that's okay for your neck. Inhale, release. And lift the arms to come into Utkatasana, chair pose. So press the knees together, back is long, not arched. Inhale, forward fold, chin to shins. As you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and jump back for plank pose. Slowly lower all the way down. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, Sphinx pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, Cobra pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift the right leg. As you exhale, come forward, bring the right shin to the front of the mat for pigeon pose. Turn and be sure your left foot is straight out behind you. Keep a lift in the pelvic floor by imagining your knees are magnetized. Puff the chest out, fingers on the ground. Stay here and breathe into the left hip flexor. Or if you feel good here, lift your arms. Really be mindful of your body. Little mini back bend. Stay here, or if you want to take it a step further, you can bend the back leg. Stay there, or if you want to take a step further, grab hold of the foot. And if you want to go even deeper, you can come into mermaid pose by hooking the foot in the elbow crease and clasping the hands. Release the same way you went in, and then send the upper body forward towards the mat to take the stretch over into the back of the hip. On the next inhale, rise up. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers. Curl the back toes and lift the back leg. Step back for plank pose and slowly lower all the way down. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, release. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale and release. Inhale, Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, Downward Facing Dog. Taking it over to the other side, when you're ready, lift your left leg and spread the left toes. Use your core strength to bring the left shin to the front of the mat, setting up for a pigeon pose. Turn to be sure your right foot is straight out behind you. Bring the fingers underneath the shoulders onto the ground. Puff the chest and breathe into the right hip flexor. Stay here, or if you feel good, you can lift the arms. Keep a lift in the pelvic floor by imagining that the knees are magnetized. Stay there, or lift the back leg. And if that feels okay, you can grab hold of the back foot. And if that feels fine, you can take it a step further and come into mermaid. When you're ready, release the same way you went in. Send the hands down to the ground and the torso out in front. As you inhale, release. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, curl the back toes, lift the knee, and step back for plank pose. Slowly lower down and come into Sphinx. Exhale and release. Hands under shoulders for Cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, Upward Facing Dog. Roll over the toes, Downward Facing Dog. On your next inhale, come onto the toes, bend the knees, use your core strength to hop forward. Feet together, knees together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, bring the torso up for Utkatasana chair pose. As you inhale, come to standing with your arms out in front and rise onto the toes. Squeeze the legs together, use your core strength, and slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Come to sit and extend the legs. Bring your hands back behind you about 8 inches. Point the toes and press into the heels and into the hands to lift the hips, bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch the ground for Purvottanasana. Let the head go, no tension in the neck, and keep pressing the mat away from you, breathing into the shoulders and the whole front body. Exhale, release, and send the arms out in front. Use your core strength to slowly lower all the way down to the ground. On the next inhale, bend the knees, bring the feet back towards the hips. Feet are hip distance apart and the toes are pointed straight out in front of you, not to the side. As you inhale, push into all 4 corners of both feet to lift the hips. Clasp your hands underneath, so interlace the fingers, and then rock side to side so you're kind of on the sides of your arms, so you're making more room for your chest to lift. This is bridge pose. You want your feet directly underneath your knees. Make sure your knees are pointed straight out in front and the knees stay hip distance. Toes pointed straight out in front, not out to the side. And you can stay there or you can lift one leg, spread the toes. Breathe there. And when you're ready, release and come over to the other side. If you're not quite ready to lift up one leg, don't worry about it. This is always something you can work up to. Exhale, release. And you can do that again, or if you're ready to move on, come into full wheel pose. To set up for full wheel, you want the feet as close to the butt as you can. Then bend your arms, bringing your hands next to your ears, with your fingers pointed down towards your shoulders. Elbows are pointed straight to the sky, toes pointed directly away from you, straight out in front. When you're ready, press into all 4 corners of both feet and lift up. You want to picture the body as an upside down letter U. Look straight between your hands. And if you're ready to lift one leg, you can go ahead and do that. If you're not quite there yet, don't worry about it. If you've lifted one leg, always lift the other when you're ready. And come out the same way you went in. Take a couple deep breaths. And to counter all that back bending, invite the right knee in towards the chest and extend the left leg. Press the tailbone down towards the ground. Release and come over to the other side. So spread the toes. Breathe into any tension in the body, just letting it go. And exhale, release. As you inhale, bend the knees, cross the left over the right, reach down and grab hold of the feet. Pull the knees in towards your body. This is a really great pose for sciatica. As you exhale, release and come to the other side. and release the pose. From here, take the feet about a little wider than hip distance. Bring the hands off the mat and send the knees over to the right. You should feel a really good stretch across the top of the left leg and left hip. As you inhale, come over to the other side. And when you're ready, come back to center and extend the legs for final Shavasana, where you should try to stay for at least 5 minutes, just to let your body absorb all the good things you just did.